Welcome back. I'm Micheal Bull, and this is the Commercial Real Estate Show. Glad you can be with us today. Well, we have some great shows coming up for you, including shows with updates on the office market, retail, and multifamily markets, and these are all separate shows. So be sure to catch topics of special interest to you. Sign up for a once-a-week email announcing the show topic at commercialrealestateshow.com. Well, today we're discussing commercial real estate development. We have Hugh Kelly here with us, 2014 chair for CRE, Counselors of Real Estate. And Hugh, why should developers and lenders take the risk of development right now after dealing with so much distress in this past recession?
You might say it's DNA.
DNA.
In this context, that means developers need activity. This is the way you make money. It's been a long time. Development ground to a near halt in 2009 and 2010. Now markets are slowly working their way back, and developers, I have to say, slowly and cautiously in most places and in most property types, are starting to come back into the markets. We're talking about the survivors here.
Right, the ones who made it through. Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of apartment development all around the country, right? And office and retail in some of those 24-hour cities that we talked about before. But now we're also starting to see some development in the secondary cities. And one of the risk of development is that length of time that it takes to get from inception to opening. What are some typical time frames that these developers are dealing with in that regard?
Do you want extremes?
Yeah, I'll take it.
The mega projects really cover several business cycles, and so they need to be planned out to survive through that. Las Colinas in the Dallas area, for example, has won all sorts of awards, ULI awards, but it has had numerous downturns it's had to cope with. Battery Park City, which is a shining success in New York City, that dirt was put in the Hudson River in 1969, and it's just finishing its build out now.
Wow.
Of course, if you are lucky enough to be building in a business park that has its entitlements in place, and you're dealing with a more modest-sized project, you're not dealing with decades, you're dealing with a 9 to 18-month development time frame, much more manageable.
Right. Yeah, we've had good success selling land that we sell around the country when the entitlements are in place and there's immediate need that someone can come in and build and they see immediate demand. That land seems to be selling really well, and it's a really picked up demand. Well, where do you see opportunities for developers in the current market?
I would say look at the basic economy. What's growing? Energy, technology, eds and meds. These are things. Practically every university and major hospital in the country is expanding, and expanding not in their primary facilities, but in the needs for office for their staff and faculty, and for ancillary activity. So I think that's very important. Energy cities like Houston are doing very, very well and have created great opportunities. And from Silicon Valley to Silicon Alley in New York, you've got lots and lots of development going on. The Google building, for example, in the Chelsea area of Manhattan, a $2 billion investment by Google has spawned all sorts of activity and spin-offs right in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, I think there are a lot of opportunities now, but there's a lot of the larger tenants who, because of the lack of new construction, are finding it hard to get into real high-quality locations. So, yeah, I think it's a real good time. But there's also some challenges, right, for developers. That's a little harder to do developments, I guess, than it was in the go-go years. What are some of the obstacles they're dealing with?
Well, risk is always a question of managing, right? And the worst thing to manage is uncertainty. And developers are facing tremendous uncertainty in terms of, are we really going to begin to accelerate our economy and create the jobs and the demand that's there? And frankly, our government has not helped in that regard. I like to say that we have two oars that we should be rowing on: the monetary policy and the fiscal policy. Well, the Fed has been rowing vigorously Some say too vigorously. But the other war, the fiscal policy, has been totally out of the water because Congress and the administration can't get along and can't move on projects that are really important to the country. So get rid of that uncertainty. We'll do a lot better. The other thing is interest rates. Mm-hmm. Developers worry about their costs, and a lot of their costs is in their construction interest. So we need to create greater certainty around the cost of money.
Well said, Hugh. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
If you'd like more information from Hugh Kelly and CRE, visit CRE.org. We'll stay with us in just a minute. We'll talk to a leading developer, and we'll get their take on the market and see what types of properties they're developing around the country. So stay with us. I'm Micheal Bull. This is the Commercial Real Estate Show. We'll be right back. The Commercial Real Estate Show is brought to you by Atlanta Office Liquidators, new and used furniture liquidators, France Media, publications and conferences, and Bull Realty Commercial Brokerage, a great place to do business. For more information on these companies or to access additional podcasts, videos, or blogs, visit commercialrealestateshow.com.